Okay folks, this is Damien again here with Best Care. We showed you on the last video how to put your lift electronic system together on your new lift with the performance system. Now it's time for us to do a little bit more in-depth analysis of this electronics just in case your lift isn't working. So I guess what I'm saying is now that you put it all together, things aren't working. What do we do next? Well, let's talk about a few things that could prevent the lift from working. Here's the first thing. If this cable is plugged into the wall and the green light is on here on the control box and it's charging up the battery, the lift won't work. So you have to unplug the lift from the wall before it's going to lift anything. So make absolutely sure you've unplugged the cable from the wall before you try and run your lift. So that'd be the first thing I'd check. Second thing I would check is if this red button here on the back of the control box is pushed in. If this red button is pushed in, the lift's not going to work at all. That switch is designed to shut off all the power to the lift. So you have to take this, turn it slightly, and let it pop out. Make sure that's out. If that's out, if this isn't plugged into the wall and the lift still isn't working, then the third thing I would check would be the battery. How do we know if the battery has power? We push the button on the battery, and it tells us that the battery's lit up. If it's showing some green bars on it, then you got good power to the system. So, okay, so now we need to go a little further. The lift still isn't going up and down when we push the buttons here. Something still isn't working. Well, the next thing I would check is the actual actuator. And I do that by pushing these buttons here. That would isolate the hand control from being a problem. So if we can take the lift up and down on these buttons, and we can't on these, then we know we got a bad hand control. And that could be what's preventing the lift from working. So let's just say, we got a good hand control, these are working, all the other things we've checked are working fine, and the lift still isn't working. So the last thing I would check would be that the battery is properly hooked up to the lift. So what I mean by that is since the battery is removable from the lift, as we know from the previous video, when you put the battery in place, sometimes you can put it in there and have it hanging on just enough to where it's sitting on the lift, but it's not hooked up all the way. This is common. So if that ever happens, you've got to give it a little push. Get it on there a little snugger, and you hear a click. Until you hear that click, if you don't see any, you see no space between the battery and the control box, then the chances are that the battery is hooked up right. If you see some space down here, you may not have the battery engaged all the way. So that would be the last thing I would check. If you've checked all those things out and the lift still isn't working, then you need to call us at Best Care